The smorgasbord of mobile phones in the marketplace is about to grow even more. Aside from smartphone leaders Apple and Samsung, Microsoft and Google are about to throw two new phones into the mix. So joining us now to discuss this is Mallory Goki, mobile editor at digitaltrends.com. Mallory, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So we've got an unexpected announcement from Microsoft. They unveiled a new basic Nokia phone. Now this may come as a surprise to some since the company announced it was selling its feature phone business earlier this year. So the question is, why is Microsoft still making these phones?
Right, so Microsoft is still making these kind of, budgety feature phones so that way they can reach out to the next billion users. These are kind of basic phones that you would have sold in India. I believe this one's $37. It's basically a small little phone and it has a tiny little screen and you can access some apps like Facebook on it, and it also does, your typical calls and texts. So this is all about reaching those users out there who might have never owned a phone before.
Yeah, and it has a headphone jack, which was a newsworthy thing about this phone. Can you give me some details about that phone? What are the specs? Who is the customer? I know you just mentioned India, the fact this is a lower price point.
Right, so it has a 2.4-inch QVGA screen, which is a little bit low res, and it has a couple of relatively low res megapixel cameras on there. Those would be just for basic photos, nothing fancy, certainly not like an iPhone or a Galaxy. You can download a couple different apps on there because it's running a Symbian OS with some, kind of like a web browser on there. So you should be able to access different apps. And mostly Facebook, simple things that won't be running up the bill too much. And this is basically just for your average consumer out there in India who's never really had a phone before, maybe some kids or some older people who don't really need a full-featured smartphone. It's one of those entry-level devices for people.
So needless to say, I think Apple and Samsung don't really have to worry about the Nokia 216 taking market share from the iPhone and the Galaxy. However, there is something that could shake things up, and that's Google is throwing hints about what to expect from an event it's hosting on October 4th. A new smartphone is what's rumored to be debuted there. Can you tell us what you know about that?
Yeah, so that's the really exciting thing. Google's announcement is going to be huge. This is their big announcement for the year. They're probably introducing two phones, and this year they won't be under the Nexus line, which used to be Google's phone business that they used to have. And they used to have different manufacturers create those phones, and it was kind of a co-branding situation. But this year, Google's really taking an active step forward and making it a Google-branded phone. So these are going to be under the Pixel name, and the Pixel name has always stood for the highest end possibility of Google software. So this is the cream of the crop. This is the iPhone of the Google world. And this is the thing that, Android fans are really crazy for because it's going to have stock Android, all the best specs, and it's going to be pretty incredible.
So are you saying that this phone may not be manufactured by, say, an HTC?
Right. So it will be made by HTC, technically, manufactured by them, because Google doesn't really do its own manufacturing of devices. However, it will be something that is made, under Google's very strict guidelines. Google has complete control over this, and it is completely their baby, their project that they have worked on every single step alongside HTC, who is the rumored manufacturer.
Got it. And this obviously comes at a time when Samsung is trouble. We've got this Galaxy Note 7 recall. How will Google play into this marketplace given the landscape with competition like Samsung right now?
It's an excellent opportunity for Google because right now there's really no great brand new Android phone that's come out. I mean, you have the LG V20, which was just announced a little while ago in September, but it hasn't really been available yet for purchase, and so this is a big opportunity for Google to swoop in there and catch up a lot of those people who might have been disappointed by the iPhone or, had an exploding Galaxy Note 7 and they really need a new phone and they need it now.
Yeah, Mallory Goki, thanks for joining us today. Thank you for watching. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.